Go and then you.
Call this meeting to order at 7:01. Call and roll.
Trevor Smith,
Here.
Bailey Weinman, here, Terry Howard,
Here.
Jonathan Schaefer,
Yep.
Andy Lowry,
Here.
and Director Baker will be absent tonight.
Okay, let's get up and do the pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Yay, approval of the agenda.
I'll second that.
So move, so second.
One moment, we have a change to the agenda.
Oh.
As I said, Director Baker is absent tonight, so he will no longer be given our staff reports.
Okay.
So we need to remove that.
Here he comes now.
Josh?
Oh,
Kidding,
Oh,
kidding, kidding. John, you're late, son.
Sorry.
That's okay.
What was the correction?
with the corrections, okay.
Who's that youngster
and I'll
with you?
second that motion.
You okay? All right. We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Staff reports, bless the rain. I've been contacted numerous times by the local businesses to get the gravel off of the state highway that the DOT, Department of Transportation, put in the curb line. And so we've been trying to do that, but evidently we can't do it when it's wet because it'll tear up our machine.
What?
So if we can get some,
The sweeper?
yeah, the
Cannot pick
sweeper
up
won't
wet.
pick up
It
wet.
won't pick up wet.
Oh, yeah.
He said,
Oh, sand?
Mhm.
he said it would ruin it.
Who said
So
that?
eventually
The
we
CDOT guy said
will,
that.
eventually we will get dried out, maybe. And get that taken care of.
It's hard not to go wash it all, yeah.
Yeah, a little backstory to that. CDOT's aware that they did that. They have a sweeper like ours that's supposed to pick it up and remove it rather than throw it to the curb line. Theirs is broke. So they had to use one that threw it out. What they were doing was cleaning out the potholes and filling them down the highway. So they had to clean unlike our filler that we have for our potholes that goes in wet or dry or whatever, theirs only goes in dry. And they have to remove the residue from in there as well. So going through the highway, trying to clean those out to put that filler in there, they threw that to the curb lines. But since then, a lot of what's in the curb lines right now is flow off from all of the water and the rain that we've gotten. Now Mendez did go down in front of Who Motors today with a shovel and shoveled as much as he could out of that curb line.
Okay.
But it cannot be swept until
Now,
It's
he's
dry.
getting too old to do shoveling anyway.
Well, cause most of, like,
Not old, but that's hard labor.
Yes.
the Elgin street sweepers I used to work on for Denver, they got a watering system to make it so that it's not so dusty. I mean, so it's by nature picking up wet stuff. That's why I was surprised.
Yeah.
Well,
Has a watering system too.
Yeah, it's.
our only problem is
Most
ours was
street
built
sweepers
in 1961, so
No,
I have no
It's
idea.
gotta be at least a nineties model.
I think
95
it's
or
late
better.
eighties. I think
No,
it's like
anyway.
80,
Oh, is it?
85, 86. Yeah.
So
But
back
it-
at the ranch where we
Yeah,
have
the
the
CDOT
horses.
worker even looked at it and he said yours is not made to do that.
Yeah.
So he acknowledges that we can't even do what we're supposed to be doing without it, so.
Okay.
So back at the ranch where my report was going that Kimberly stole most of. We're trying to keep that going, and if we can appease the owners of the businesses, that would be good, because it's not dusty now, it's raining every day, so that's kind of good. We bless the rain because it's the greenest I've ever seen Elbert County. Trevor's probably seen a little greener, but that's way back. There are some drains in town that I had to clean mine out one day. And there was a couple other drains in town we need Mr. Mendez to go take a look at and just shave the grass out of. One's on Hughes Street at Shoshone. But pretty much everything else is draining fairly well from what I saw. I drive around and look. The alley's a little rough, but we can't do anything with it until it dries out a little bit, because it's just a mosh pit, so.
There's a cul-de-sac on Blackfoot that Mendez had to go over and dig a trench away from today
Yeah.
because it was collecting there in the cul-de-sac.
No, anyway, so we're getting things going and keeping them going, which is good. Okay, Mr. Baker decided he's doing some work, so any other trustee
Quick,
have something they'd like to share?
quick thing, yes. Uh, It's been a minute since we've done this. But shoot, it's been like 4 or 5 years ago. We did a deal with Elbert County Department of Public Health. And they went through and they fumed, if you will, fumed the town for mosquitoes. And parlays cut down on the mosquitoes. And in the human part of it is West Nile. And so I don't know if that's something that, I guess from my standpoint, I'd like to look into it. Just to see if there's a chance we can do that. I know that summer we did it about once every 6 weeks, and it made a huge difference.
The Department of Human Services had a part in that?
Yeah, and I don't know if they
Or Health
helped us
Department, I
get
should
the
say. Probably Health Department.
health department, I don't know if they helped us with the contracting or what it was. But basically, the guy with the truck and he had the little fumigator and he drove pretty much up and down the streets and it made a difference. I mean, it knocked them down. And
Yeah, 'cause they're bad now.
they're just gonna get worse. I mean, we got a lot of water standing.
Yeah.
You
There's
know,
a lot of water over at the fairgrounds. too.
yeah, there's a lot of stuff. I mean, people are being pretty good about trying to get
That's where we're
stuff
at.
mowed while we're doing, when they can, how they can, but so.
We're trying to get ahead of it for the events that are happening in the park, and Mendez has put up mosquito things like we had last year. One goes in each corner, 4
Mhm.
corners of the park, and it works up to an acre of getting rid of the mosquitoes, and it worked really well last year. So we
Okay.
started earlier this year, and he's putting them out every 30 days, because they're supposed to last for 30 days, huh?
I need stuff from my yard.
Yeah, we got a,
Really.
Tasha told me about them when she was here, and she said they had used them out in park on her property, and they worked really well, because they can have a lot of standing water when it gets like this.
Yeah,
And so we ordered them for first time last year, and they worked really good Colorado Day.
What are they called?
I'll have to send you the link. I got them
Please
also
do.
Amazon.
Okay,
And I just got enough for each month through the summertime this year instead of just the one time we used them last year. So
okay.
we'll see what happens.
Trevor, thank you for bringing that up, because I'm gonna add to that. In the small towns that I've lived in the past, one would be Hugo, the other would be Violet. And some of the other places, they actually had a pickup mounted fogger that they drove up and down the streets. Now, in this that I'm looking at on my phone, there are backpack foggers for like $349, $400, $399.99. And there's one for $359.99. And they're 22 pounds, and you put them on your back and you walk around and you fog for mosquitoes. Now, if we are going to spend that much money, I'd like to go out and buy a truck mounted. I think it would be a tremendous investment, because Trevor's right. They are going to hit us like you wouldn't believe.
Well, I wonder if the county's already got something in the works, because they kind of noticed too.
I've never seen one on the spray.
they have one, or they did. The other one that might be able to do it is if we're trying to figure out, high prairie tree and turf. Ray Hardy, he used to do some of it like for our fairgrounds. Right before fair, we do the whole fairgrounds and
Okay.
try to knock them down, but I think this year's gonna be. I'm just waiting to see the West Nile deal explode, because it's just, all the conditions are right for it. So,
I don't know where that picture just went, but I just saw a truck mounted one for $1,900. London Foggers Mag ULB fogger, medium size. This is a little expensive, $45.58. from Northern Tool. So,
Plus the material to put in the fog.
well, you'd have to buy the fog, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, this is just the pickup mount fogger thing.
That we could use every year.
Yeah, well, if we had it, it would, in my opinion, and 6 cents won't get you a cup of coffee, but we could use it every year.
Yeah.
Because the mosquitoes, and Trevor's right, it's just gonna boom. It really is. But I know the town of Lyman has a fogger. That
They
maybe
own
we
one?
get a hold of. Oh, yeah, they own one. And just find out where they got it and, cause we've got 2 trucks down there, we could drive around and fog out of them.
I don't even
But
know
that's
those
what they
look like.
did, is they fogged out of pickups and they just went down all the streets in town. So let's look into that.
Okay.
Is that okay with the board, just to look into and see if we can do it?
Yeah, look into it.
Yeah. Cause I know we leave the windows or the doors open at this lawn, but we can't right now, cause
No.
they'll be everywhere.
Yeah.
I'm eating up with them already.
Yeah,
They'll
just from our
inundate you,
property.
and they're little biting little son of a
Yeah,
guns
they are.
too, so.
Yeah, they're.
Yeah, but I would caution the board to wear their little mosquito thingies. So, thank you, Trevor, for remembering that. You're such a good kid.
Yeah, every once in a while.
I know. All right, anything else from the board? Okay, town attorney, got anything? She's not on?
She's muted.
Okay, she's probably taking a little.
She's-
No, I don't have anything. Sorry.
Like got suntan today down there.
Oh, I wasn't really outside today, but kids were,
We'll hear about you later.
hey, can you guys hear me? Here, I'm gonna turn it up just a little. It's up as loud as,
We can hear you very well.
That's a
Okay.
really, you guys really well, but you guys don't ever hear us, and I don't understand why that is, and we haven't figured out how to fix that from this end.
quite frankly, it depends who's speaking. I can hear you well, I can hear everybody. I just can't hear the people that are like perpendicular.
Speak up. Okay, there you go. Okay, Kimberly, go.
Okay. So, little update. So I did talk to CDOT this week. Of the $2.5 million that was figured that we would need for engineering and design, they are awarding us a partial of $500,000.
Well, pay for nothing.
So, but with that said, they let us know that they only had $11 million to give. They had 14 projects. So every one of them got partially funded. Of the lower partially funded ones, we were the highest in the Eastern Plains that they gave money to. What this little guy that I shouldn't say little guy, that's condescending. He's younger than me, you know, he's like my kid's age. Bryce is a head engineer over in Greeley. And he's kind of taking Kiowa on as a personal project. He says, you guys have set out in the Eastern Plains and really, we've not heard from you guys ever. So he says, until you guys start getting these grants, people aren't gonna start knowing you're out there and knowing that you need this funding. The town's name is gonna be more readily noticed with more grants and more funding that you would request. He says, and I really want to help you do that. He says, I've been in contact with quite a few of those engineers that were on that call with me that day in Lyman. And a lot of them have offered their services without charging us for that. So they're willing to do their portion of this project in their capacity without charging us for those.
Fantastic.
Yes,
That's awesome.
there is a match to this that would require us $125,000 match to it. They're waiving that for us. So that we don't have to pay the match.
Okay,
I have a meeting with DOLA next week, to discuss us applying the next cycle, which opens June 30th. I will apply for the highest amount, which is $1 million. That would get us. I don't feel we'll get fully funded by DOLA either. But it'll get us something closer to it. And really, Bryce said, there is a chance that we can get this done more closer to what we can budget for. And if not, then we do what we can with the money we have right now and then seek more funding. And as we get more funding, proceed more along, the process. But I definitely told him we want the $500,000 because it really was a question of if you don't take it, you don't get anything.
Hmm.
I'd rather have something rather than nothing.
Yeah.
So that'll get us on a path started somewhere. So that is in place. We have other options for seeking funding as well. But Bryce feels confident about, that money getting us where we need to be off the bat. He doesn't really feel we need $2.5 million for design and engineering.
Okay.
So we'll see what,
Can we take that 500? And put that in an account
no,
until we get more?
no, we can't do that. We can't
Cause
hold on
that
to it.
500,000 will be putting. Lipstick on a pig. I mean, this
No.
500,000 will maybe do 10 potholes. I mean, I'm being facetious.
We're not doing potholes.
But
This is-
we've got, CDOT's got a bridge down there that's
Mhm.
1944. We haven't been overlaid in town, Trevor, since.
Well, the whole reason we're waiting,
Yeah,
they'd overlay it this summer, but it's dumb to do it.
so they, yeah, but it's dumb to do it if we've got a drainage problem.
But they are holding that money, because that money really was earmarked for Elizabeth.
Wasn't it?
Yes, and then they made Elizabeth split that with us, if you remember right. And they were gonna use that for mill and fill down through Kiowa. And I drove up there to that meeting that day to sit down with them to talk about that mill and fill, because I didn't understand why they were willing to waste $1 million. Doing a mill and fill through Kiowa when they're gonna turn right around and rip it out and put storm drainage in. So the lead engineer at that meeting made the decision then that we'll hold off on that. We'll add that as a second part to this construction project, and we'll do that at the end of this whole entire thing. So that it's not being ruined and wasted money on our part.
That's
And
the
it's less
biggest-
money we've gotta
So
come up with or ask for to complete it. This-
You know,
what does that do to our timeline?
Well, our timeline really isn't set yet. Our timeline is dictated by the money coming in and how long it takes to get through. Like, what they explained to me at that meeting, the biggest part of our timeline or the project is gonna be right-of-way stuff. Because where we have no leeway down here in front of businesses, because our code required the businesses to sit right on the sidewalk. They can't go back with a sidewalk. They have to go out into the highway with the sidewalk now. And the bike lane and everything else. But like with your yard up here, they've got to go through and talk to every single residence up and down 86 and work out right away.
Cause the
Stuff.
sidewalk grows
Because-
by a foot.
Yeah, so in order to redo all those sidewalks, and they have to widen them to make them ADA compliant.
Yeah, they,
It would have to go into your yard.
what is? Big deal. I mean, they did it. When they torqued the whole town up, they did it, the new sidewalks all the way up to almost our yard.
Well, yeah, they did tell, this is where I learned, it was at that meeting that they just did that intersection down to the bank or something like that. The bank or motor vehicle. But they just redid all of that in that intersection this way. They didn't do anything past that. They would have to bring this end up to meet that.
They did all, you can walk, it comes within 8 foot of our property line, is where they came all the way down. But that's when they built up 86 by 2.5 foot and repitched it, cause 86 used to be flat right through there on the curve. Cause they used to park buses on the other side and pulled out on the highway. Well, they built it up 2.5 foot and threw the pitch on it, so flipping water comes to this side. That's where this whole wreck is theirs.
Yeah,
They caused it. I mean, if they wanna do anything, if we really, if they wanted to beer budget it, they ought to do it like on a mountain town. Where instead of crowning 86, if they want to mill and fill it, tear it out. And slope everything to the north. And put it on a pitch across to the north, and we don't even have to do boxes. Cause it has sun, it can run down and catch the trough like it's supposed to and go down to the creek. I mean, but we got engineers and egos and government, so it'll be $100 million for,
No, only
Planning.
13.
and planning. We gotta have money to plan.
But the sidewalks do need to be, the sidewalks are atrocious.
Yeah.
They do need to be ADA compliant. I don't know, maybe that 500,000 will start on sidewalks.
No, the $500,000 is gonna start with planning and engineering. We have to get through that phase first before we can go on to construction at all. Do we
And I
have
have a question for you on
But
the,
Deb,
on
Terry's
CDOT.
had her hand up.
Oh, good. Oh, I didn't look, I'm sorry.
That's
Ted.
all right.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Question on the grant. I know some grants are use it or lose it. You've got a year to use it. Is there a time frame attached to this or no?
As soon as they award that money to us, we're gonna issue an RFP to start getting it, a company that comes in
Okay,
to start on the project.
Okay.
We can't hold it.
okay,
That's the problem with DOLA with the well thing that we ran into is that DOLA didn't want to award us that money and us have to hold on to it until we got through the loan process with the CDPHE.
okay,
They wanted to be right on the heels of them, back to back. So
Okay.
now CDPHE and DOLA are working together to make sure that our funding is done like they wished it to be.
Okay.
They don't want to hold that money back, have us hold on to it when it could have gone to somebody else who's a project right now
Sure.
that needs it going.
yeah, makes sense.
Addressed, so
Yeah,
that's why
okay.
they won't let us do that.
Okay. Thank you.
Has CDOT been monitoring our bridge with all this water? Making sure there's not any undermining and going on?
I don't know about
I
that, to be
doubt it.
honest with you. I know our CDOT guy is gone for 2 weeks
Yeah,
on vacation. But I did see CDOT people down here at the facility the last 3 days.
what? Okay, anything else?
No,
Town hall
not storage
damage?
grants. No. Some of you aren't aware, but our building flooded, our basement particularly,
Here.
and in a bad way, yes.
We're talking a lot of water.
A lot of water.
Yeah.
So, yeah, Katie's very first day, Tasha took her down there on a field trip. And they found dirt in the hallway and a lot of moisture. So we went down there and looked, and there were wet spots up the wall with already had little black dots in it. So I called insurance. He was extremely busy. They'd been out for 2 days. We'd had all that rain. And everything was flooding, all the hail and everything. And so he sent another adjuster out here to take a look at it. In the meantime, I called a water abatement company, water damage abatement company, and they came out that day. And got started looking at it, drawing their maps, getting the stuff together for the insurance. He came out with a crew the next day and to start demo. Well, in the middle of the demo, we got another rain that hit. In the middle of that, when they hit out the wall with their sledgehammer for the first time, it was as if he stuck a fire hose down in the basement and it triple flooded at that point. All the walls have been holding back all the water for an undetermined amount of time.
Oh,
We found a hole behind the building that looked like a window well. At the bottom of this hole was a 5-inch diameter hole that was not plugged. That looks like somebody started something with plumbing, but either decided not to do it and didn't plug it. We're not sure what the purpose of it was. But with the hail coming down with the rain, it plugged up our downspouts, which caused the water to go along the foundation and into that hole and directly into our basement. So when they hit that wall, it went from a couple inches of water to a foot of water in a matter of minutes. And it took out the entire basement. So we have no carpet down there. We have half walls all the way through there. And we have asbestos under the tiling.
Right, that,
So they've demoed the carpet and the walls and everything's open and dry. Mendez plugged off the hole, buried it, re-diverted the drainage from the foundation. And I'm waiting word from the asbestos abatement company when they can come out and start on that process, because we can't do anything else until the asbestos is out of there. We have $50,000 in asbestos coverage. The insurance company is working with the adjusters right now on the water damage. We have a $2,500 deductible for that. And we have no coverage for mold. So the check you guys just signed tonight for $6,000 something is the payment for the mold removal from downstairs. We have had black mold in this building for a very, very long time.
Sure, yeah.
They don't know how long, but it was enough that he is really surprised that we have not had a lot of medical problems by working in this building on a constant basis. So we just attributed our headaches to the job. So, but it's out now. That's where we're at with it. I'll keep you guys updated.
Now, was anything down there that was?
Our
lost?
records are down there.
And are
We
they
had some records. I have
damaged?
not been able to determine what were in those boxes, but we had some records that were on the carpet that the water wicked up and they are covered with mold right now. So until these water damage people can help us get down there and sort that out and figure out how we can get rid, if they're records we need to keep. If they are, how we get rid of the mold off of them, but we've not been back down there yet since they started demo, because of the spores and all of that. And it's all, actually, the only room that did not get water was the mechanical room with the water heater. So it didn't go in there for some reason. I don't know why, but all the other rooms
Cause there's probably a
are
drain there.
destroyed. Yeah. We did, when it hit and they were demoing, and it flooded the entire basement, the workers and ourselves got most of the boxes that were on the bottom shelves back up to the top shelves. So I don't think it got our most current records. But yeah, I don't know what's in those boxes yet. I just know there's green mold all over it.
Oh, there's only video footage.
Yeah,
That's
So,
panic.
it's a mess.
I've been there.
Yeah, I've been there before too.
So that's where we're at with that. I did see that Danielle had her hand up at one point.
I just wanted to update on one of the mineral impact grants. I was informed by DOLA that the wastewater did put in for a grant for that. So we are literally in direct competition with each other for that one, for the new well.
Like that, the water well information is for the authority, has nothing to do with the town.
No, I
Yeah.
just wanted the town to be aware that it is we are in a direct competition because you and Rachel wrote that grant. And so if possible, when you do present for that, they said maybe you could present on Wednesday. I'm presenting on Friday, but they said it's not ideal to go back to back.
I don't know when you're presenting, Danielle, and this has to do with authority, not the town. Debbie and I already have a set date and time. You made your feelings about us applying at the same time known during that last meeting that you attended here. And I'm sorry that we're in direct competition, but the town needs a water well. And that's what our purpose
I'm not
is.
saying the town doesn't need a water well. I just wanted the board of trustees to understand that we are, and so that everyone was on the same page of where we're at so we can work cohesively together.
Thank you, Danielle.
Thank you.
Okay, got anything on public works other than what?
No, nothing other than what we talked about tonight. We're already doing.
Good. How about code enforcement?
Code enforcement will have a report in July.
Okay, approval of the minutes from May 9th, 2023.
So
I'll second
Motion and a
that.
second. Any discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye. All same sign. Hopefully everyone's had a chance to go through and read through the financial.
Next month's meeting at Trevor's request this year, and beginning of this year, I'm gonna have a breakdown as to where we're at with budget. Okay, next month's meeting.
Here's a signed copy of those minutes. Yeah, any discussion on the expend, any
I motion.
motion to approve?
Second.
Motion and second, any discussion? All those in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All the same sign. Yeah. Any public comments? No? Katie, you got any comment? Yeah, hurry up so you can go home. Okay, I would entertain a motion to go into executive session, subject to Colorado Revised Statute 24/6024. Oh, hold it, I can't, I'm not gonna do that. Motion to come out of the regular meeting,
So moved.
and do we have a second?
Second.
All, any discussion? All those in favor, signify by saying aye.
I,
At 7:28. Okay.
Hold on. Yeah. Mr. Hill, I'm gonna have to ask you guys to excuse yourselves for exec session.
Are you
Okay.
back in session now?
We are.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Go ahead.
So
I have to change screens. Right.
We're gonna- Hold on a second. Debbie is raising her hand.
So Kim, will we just be able to log back in when you guys come back in?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay,
Yeah.
thank you. Do what? It's not letting me hear her.
We go back in. So you come back to this meeting, whoever's asking that. Can you hear her?
I can hear you, Ruth. Thank you.